Welcome to Fuel Your Mind, a web series dealing with all things diesel. Today we will talk about how diesel fuel is made.
Today we're going to talk about the very lifeblood of your diesel truck, diesel fuel. And we have a couple special guests that will help talk us through the basics of diesel fuel. I would like to welcome now Chris Gabrelchik and Kevin Adams. Kevin?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having us.
Thank
Bram,
you. Chris.
nice to see you.
Thank you for being here. Chris is the founder and CEO of Lubrication Specialties, the creator of Hot Shot Secret. He's been certified by the Society of Tribologists and Lubrication Engineers and is a certified lubrication specialist and has been in the field for 30 years?
30 years.
And Kevin is the Vice President of R&D at LSI. Thank you guys so much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
First, can you give me the basics? How is diesel made?
So to start, if we reel it back and say, okay, where does the diesel fuel actually come from? You have to think about the refinery process. Everybody has the idea and understands what crude oil is. I mean, you've seen that on Beverly Hillbillies and that kind of thing. So we're going to start with crude, and they put it into what's basically a pressure cooker. They add some water to it and heat the pressure up. And as the pressures hit different levels, different things will start to settle out. So if you can imagine in the refinery, just like in the pressure cooker, the heavy things are going to be on the bottom, and then there's going to be medium grade things, and then the real light grades on top. So if you're visualizing this at the top, you're going to have like naphtha, gasoline, then kerosene and diesel. See how we're getting heavier? Then we got motor oil, number 4 oil, number 6 oil. Then at the bottom is asphalt. So believe it or not, asphalt actually comes from the same crude oil as the diesel fuel does. So once we get that diesel fuel out, they cool it down and put it in tanks and use it for trucks and everything that runs off of the diesel.
So diesel is really just oil that has been cooked in a pressure cooker.
Correct. It's a part of that crude oil, just like the gasoline is and the naphtha. So those things are all part of the crude oil, and we're just extracting different pieces based on the pressure and the temperatures.
So how exactly is diesel different than gasoline?
So diesel fuel is going to have more BTUs in it, which just means that it's got more explosive power than gasoline. The gasoline burns faster and cleaner, really. The fumes on a gasoline will burn. That's why there's a spark in a gasoline engine or a spark plug. On diesel fuel, we call compression diesel, because what's happening is we're smashing all the molecules and they explode. So more power with diesel fuel, and it doesn't burn nearly as easily as gasoline does. So for instance, if you had a bowl of gasoline and a bowl of diesel fuel, you threw a match in the gasoline, it would light up. If you threw a match in the diesel fuel, it would just pretty much go out.
So when I go to the gas pump and I fill up and I see the octane level, how does that translate to diesel?
Okay, so on gasoline, we're going to have the octane rating, and on diesel fuel will be cetane rating. The difference is that they're just opposite of each other. Octane, we want to retard the explosion to the moment when the spark plug ignites. So we want all those molecules to explode at exactly the right time. And if your octane level is too low, some of those guys will start to explode ahead of time, and that gives you a knock in the engine. That's why you have to have a minimum octane of 87. You start going down, you start getting knocking, which eventually could ruin the engine. On diesel fuel, we have the opposite. We want it to explode at the perfect moment with all it's got, and we want to increase that time by increasing the cetane. So on the cetane level, what we're using to increase that would be ethyl hexyl nitrate, which is the same thing they make dynamite out of, just to give you an idea.
Yeah.
We're looking for explosion. We want this, as clean and good of an explosion as we can possibly get inside that combustion chamber.
Send the topics you would like us to cover on a future show to video@hotshotsecret.com, and we might put your idea in an episode. Thank you for joining us on Fuel Your Mind. We'll see you next time.